I am finally back. It's been forever. But tonight is gonna be a little different. So it is nighttime, and I wanted to start doing nighttime video blogging about different topics, different interests. Um, I say a lot. This will be unedited, so it should be a little more fun. You can see how I naturally react to everything. Um, Tonight, I want to actually talk about entrepreneurship, small businesses. 2020, a lot of people started, opening their own small businesses due to the pandemic. A lot of people were losing jobs. They started supporting more black businesses, black owned businesses, which is great. But I often get the questions, I'm 25 years old, and how did you start small businesses? When did you start? Because I have enough, not a lot, but enough experience. And I just wanted to do the breakdown of exactly what inspired and how I went about it and everything. Because when you ask people, how did you start this business? They're like, well, I trusted God and I saved. And they really don't go through the steps of what exactly they did, which is bogus. But I'd say my first job, like doing something and actually getting paid for it, could have been when I was about, it had to be about 12. Yeah, let's say 12. So my first job was, I used to, my, initially, all the businesses that I started off as an act of kindness. And I put that out there first. A lot of the times I end up in situations or in positions to start a business or to start retailing something or to start anything that would make me money, started off as an act of kindness. And this is my first. At age of 12, I used to I just you're young and you're just playing that these little games. So I used to call my little cousin and I used to tell her, read this for me and I used to teach her ABC 1 2 3 or whatever. And one day her grandfather saw what I was doing, and he said he called me and he said, if you teach her how to do her ABCs from A to Z, and you teach her how to count from 1 to 20, and you keep teaching her words and you keep teaching her little things, I'll pay you every week. And I was like, this is something that I was just doing for fun and for free, and now he's offering me money to do it. So I was like, okay. So I got a little notebook, little pen, and I started teaching her to write and to do little things like that. And I think he used to pay me like it depends. Like sometimes he'd give me like $100 a week. This is in Trinidad currency, TT dollars. He'd probably give me like 150 a week, and that was a lot of money for me because this was something that I was just doing for fun. I was doing it for fun, and now here I started making some money. So what I did is I was like, well, Ma, if you can, spoke to my mom and I was like, if you can get my other cousins' parents to pay me to start teaching them work. I'm thinking, listen, if he's giving me 100 and I get two more and they all give me 100 a week, that's $300 a week. As a 12-year-old, that's a lot of money. So said, so done. So that was my first thing. I did that over the summer. School started. I went back to school. I was always hustling somebody. Always hustling somebody, even in school. So I don't know if y'all remember, but in school we used to have these little plastic. At one time, it had to be about 2000, and I don't know, maybe 2000, and I would say 9, 10. They used to take these plastic things and plait it up and do that, make it a little cute. I used to even hustle that in school. I used to make them be like, "You like it? Give me $2." So I always had that ambition to, you know, to get into sales, I should say. Um, so 19, at 19, I opened my clothing store. I opened a little clothing store in a small area. It wasn't very extravagant, nothing too much, but for a 19-year-old, it was a lot. And it was not just a lot for a 19-year-old, but for somebody that really didn't get any help. So a lot of people think because I'm an only child, I'm just spoiled rotten, and my parents probably just gave me this lump sum of money, and I just went. It was not. That was not the case. What happened was I came to the U.S. Was working in New York at the time. Minimum wage was $9.50, I think. Wasn't even $10 yet. So after tax, I was making like $7. Yes, because I worked in a retail. I worked in a woman's clothing store. So I was in the clothing store, and I was learning a lot of how inventory works, of how, you know, I was learning everything there is to know about retailing clothing, women clothing in particular. So I started saving my money. Cause New York was getting cold. I was homesick, and I was like, I want to go home, but I don't want to go home and work for anybody. Because here I am working for $7 US after tax to go back to a country where I'm making like $13, $15 TT dollars, which is it's not enough. That's how I saw it. And the cost of living and everything was just like, I didn't want to do it. So it's like, if I can save my money and buy these stuff and send it back, I can retail it and I can make some money. Before I even got the store space and stuff, which was help from family, basically, I used to like take little orders. I used to send stuff. I started off very small like that. I used to literally, when I go on vacation, pack one suitcase of clothes and go back and retail it from my house. So, like I was saying, I said, let me start packing. I want to open a little store. There's probably nobody that encouraged me. Number one, like all the odds was against. So the area is very small. The business spot was family owned, so they were like, doing business with family is kind of funny, is iffy. My mother straight out told me, "Oh, you working for your money twice? This makes no sense." And I was just like, "This is what I want to do," and I went ahead and I did it. So, you know how much I had to work. If I'm working for only $7 an hour, and at that time, my son was a baby, very small, could have been about just a few months. So 1920, between that bracket, I opened the store. And everything that I did is what I learned from working. Everything, the inventory, the getting, how to get my supplies, everything was from what I learned in the store. And it turned out to be successful. So I noticed within myself that you can't really pay attention to what everybody else is saying. Yes, you have to take advice, but if your gut feeling is telling you this is going to work, you're better off doing it. I think that even if I did it and it failed, I would feel better than if I didn't do it at all and I never knew what the outcome could have been, or what, the what if in my head. No, at least I did it and I saw, you know, I saw the outcome for myself. So I would never discourage anyone that wants to start a business. I give my advice, but I never down somebody or say, "Oh, that's supposed, like, it's not gonna work." No, I give my advice and I let it be. So apart from clothing store, I started. This is crazy. So a friend called me one day and they want, after clothing, I went off into hair. So yes, I still sell hair. I sell hair. I retail hair in Trinidad and in the U.S. to my clients because I install hair as well. My A friend called me one day. It was like, "Listen, I got something for you," and it was just a steal. It was just a steal of a deal on hair and hair products, and I was like, I know the retailing is gonna be like everything. And my mother again, she's like, "Do not do it. Why are you?" Listen, I would say I made at least 2,000% interest on what I spent, which was just like, why wouldn't I have? But if I was to ever stop and just think, "Oh, let me just listen to this person, or let me listen to this person, or let me listen to that person," I would really never do nothing. I would just go to work and come back home like most people do, which doesn't really get you very far, because one, you can have $100 and you can invest it into something. It can be very small, very, very small. And that investment, that profit couldn't be invested into another business. But if I just take my money and I just go to work and work and work, then I felt like it's not gonna materialize. It's not gonna go nowhere. It's just gonna be, yeah. So again, installing here started off act of kindness. I was going to church. It's a lady at church, and she was like, yeah, she has all these kids, and she's an older lady. She has adopted kids, and she's like, "Listen, you did no." She told me one day, she said, "Your hair looks nice," and I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Who did it?" And I said, "I did." She's like, "Can you do the girl's hair for me?" And I was like, "No problem," because I mean, in my free time from work, which wasn't a lot of free time, I wasn't doing anything. And I'm making friends. I'm happy to just be around somebody. Older lady, she's like, "Okay, come over. We gonna do their hair." And I said, "Okay." It's about 4 girls, so I did their hair, and I'm like, it was fun hanging out with you guys. And when I'm leaving, she slipped me $200, and I was like, "Damn, $200 do they for hair?" This is something that I would have done for free because that was my intentions. So she started repeatedly, like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, call me, "Hey, come do the girl's hair," and she'll slip me a little money. I then started telling other people, and when people would ask her, "Who's doing the girl's hair? The hair look really nice now," they would call me. So I was like, "Hey, instead of me traveling here, there, and everywhere, I may as well as get my own little station, start doing my little hair," because act of kindness. It just turned into what it was. So when I would do hair, I would basically take my little money and I buy my hair products. I started buying my hair, braiding hair, my weaving hair, everything. And it just went from there. When I was growing up, my grandmother would always tell me, "Give and you would receive, give and you would receive." But it does happen. it does play off that way, because a lot of times I did not wake up and said, let me go do this and try to make money and da-da. No, it was not that. Most of the times it was just me going about my regular day, and somebody asked me a favor and I do it, and it turned into that. Yeah. Advice that I would say to people that are trying to start a small business, to start doing something that they enjoy, I would say invest in something that's either a talent or something that is a very small investment. So you put in very little, but you get out enough. So you won't go buy some hair that is gonna cost you. Let's not use that. You're not gonna buy a bottle of perfume for $100 and retail it for $120. For me, that's a no-no. You know, especially if you're not gonna start, you wanna make a small investment. If you spend $100 on some food supplies, you go sell a box of food for $50. That's a great investment, because if you sell 50 boxes out of that 100 that you put in, that's a 400% interest. So that's the type of investments that, especially for people that just starting off, that's the type of investment you want to make. You want to also be kind to people. You want to give to people. I don't know, whatever you really, I have a friend that tell me this. She's like, oh, what you put into the universe is what you get out. You know, it sticks with me now because it's true. When you put in and you give to people, sometimes it doesn't come back in the same way that maybe you're expecting, but it does. It does. So yeah, another thing is having, small businesses, being an entrepreneur, and also working. You have to become comfortable with not being comfortable. You have to become comfortable with not being comfortable. I do not sleep enough at all. I would go to work. I'd work a 12-hour shift. It's only 24 hours in a day, so all I have left is 12 hours. I would come home if I still have a client, a hair client. I have items to ship. I have whatever business transaction that I have to still do it, and I still go to school, and I still have to make time for that. And whatever time I have left is when I would sleep. You have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you're the type of person that if you have a problem with little sleep, you have a problem with not just chilling and not doing nothing. If you have a problem with with really getting up and doing shit, then it ain't for you. It's not. Because not every investment you're gonna make a million. Not every investment is just gonna go like this. Sometimes you need to get up and you need to actually put in the work. And you can't wanna be asleep and well rested and chill while you got work to put in. You got to be able, and you got to be comfortable with just being uncomfortable. It's not going to be permanent. Business grow, but sometimes, especially to the start, you're going to be a little uncomfortable. You got to be comfortable with giving up the money that you was going to spend on the J's. Go buy you 24 Old Navy slippers and retail them. It starts just as simple as that. Just as simple as that. People think, oh, I gotta have like 20,000 put down. Just no, you can have $500 and say, you know what, I'm gonna have a little food sale, and the profits from this food sale, I'm gonna go invest it into such and such. So let's say you have $500 and you go invest it into a food sale, and you make $2,000. You made a $1,500 profit. You go invest that into something else. No, you do not take it and go and buy Tory or Gucci or Jordans. No, you do not. You take it and you invest it. And you have to have that control over yourself to know this money is for such and such. It's not for this and that and that. You have to be comfortable with knowing, hey, I'm gonna be running on a little sleep this month, but next month or next 2 months or even next year when my business becomes a little better, I can be chill. And if you're not comfortable with that, then you leave it alone and you go get yourself a little 9 to 5 and you just chilling. Nothing's wrong with that either. It ain't for everybody. So I hope the information that I shared, it was helpful. I hope that I could have at least give some people insights on how to go about stuff to a certain point. Things that you should take away from this video is be kind to people. Give, because it does come back. When you give, you receive. What you put into the universe is definitely what you get back. So you want to put in good so you can get back good. You want to give to people so that God could bless you in return. That's about it. So this is our first nighttime video blog. Please share, like, subscribe, and also leave in the comments ideas for new videos going forward, topics that we should discuss, anything to make it a little fun. And I hope y'all like my PJs. My PJs is actually from Shan. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's very comfortable and I'm